Okay, in this latest version of the ratings calculator, I've had people asking for a bit of a demonstration about some of the features. So I'm going to look briefly at the Southside Cranbourne meeting tonight. Now, of course, night racing, a lot of horses when they race at night, they find it a bit difficult. It's a bit like for a person staying up till 3 a.m. in the morning or the equivalent thereof. So some horses are just going to fail, which is of course why you really need to follow the prices. Horses generally show how well or unfit they are on the night, and so the people that are at the track can usually get some indication as to how the horse is going to run. So that's why there's quite often a lot of favourites win at these sort of meetings. But anyway, going through some of the details. Race 1, going over some of the features. So race 1, it's got the time of the race, 4:53. It's got the type of race, it's a maiden, the distance. Distance again, and this has the class. So the 3.4 here is the average age of the horses in the race. 0/0 gives you some idea of the rate according to the benchmark figures. 32,000 is the prize money. Overall there's been 12 starts, so you can count those up if you want to, and so far there's 0 wins and 33% places. The rail at the meeting is out 3 metres. Track condition at this time is a good 4, weather fine, and the track is turf, alright, or grass. Down the bottom you've got 8 starters, so there's 8 horses in the race that are running. There may have been scratchings. First up, 4 of them, so 4 of them, 50%. Now first up can be both first starter and or first up back from a spell. A spell can be considered to be more than 90 days, although I'm not sure about that one. The pot rating basically gives you some idea of the chance of the favourite. The higher the number, the more likely the favourite's going to be beaten. So 1.0 here means pretty much the favourite could win or not win. Weight range, that's from the top weight to the bottom weight, 3.5 kilograms. That may tell you something. And there's 5 male and 3 female horses in the race, and 0 apprentices. So they're all no claims. So if we go across for the horse, the top one, that's in blue, but it's just blue because it's just the first horse. $81 is its price on the TAB name. 5-year-old gelding, that's its form, so the little X at the end means it's first up. Barrier 4, 59.5 kilos. It's 187 days since it first ran. On its benchmark figures, it's up 4. 4 is 4 benchmark numbers, which is divided by 2 kilograms. Kobe Jennings, late alt, he must have been a late decision to put him on. There's its statistics, it's run 1/3. It's got 25% places out of its 4 starts. Maidens in Victoria all have 0 ratings, and it's won 3,000 in prize money, and that's its rating. Alright, so follow through for the rest of the runners. If we go over to the worksheet, end up finding them. We have similar sort of information. This time we've got the trainer. This is a rating based on its previous runs. You can alter the number of runs where you're going to take the ratings from. The jockey again, the weight, Cologne barrier. Then there's various figures calculated. You've got a barrier penalty at least based on which barrier it's drawn. Its current form, so for example Zuba Storm has got a high current form rating because he's got a few placings. Then there's a final market at the end, so if you click on the top you can sort according to these figures. So based on this information here, Shahar is the favourite on this market, $3.50, showing $1.85. Zuba Storm, $4.60, showing $5.50, and so on. And on the edge it's the training track, and if you go over a bit further, when you run all results later, it'll give you, if there's a sectional on the race, it'll give you the finished position of the horse and also the beaten margin. So after the meeting's finished you can run all results, and it'll come up with all the information here, so you'll be able to see how far your horse was beaten and so on. Sometimes that's useful. So on race 1 there's only 12 starts at least, so really these ratings don't mean a great deal. If we move on to race 2, 324 minutes. Again, this blue doesn't count, so the favourite is in yellow in this instance. The second favourite is in red. You can change those colours. This time there's 53 starts. There's a few more runs. Every horse is out of race. Same deal as before. And if you have a look at the worksheet, you can have a look at the, again, the favourite is on top. This one's a bit shorter priced and so on. The other thing we'll have a look at is the comparisons, if there are in fact any in this race. So in this race there are 4 horses compared, or 4 comparisons at least. So looking at this Prestige Ka Ying, he beat Sus La Lune. There's some interesting names. And this is adjusting for weight and beaten margin. The barrier is showing the horse, so the higher up in the picture, the higher the barrier. So this horse has gone from barrier 7 to barrier 10. Number 13 has gone from barrier 9 to barrier 2. So that may even the 2 horses up. This one's going to have to work a little bit harder from a wider barrier, and this one's probably going to have to work a little less harder going from barrier 9 to barrier 2, but that may or may not be true. In this second example, run at Maui on the 23rd of September, so it's a while ago now, Uncle Riddle beat Great Fuego. Then again, barrier 6 to barrier 1, barrier 2 to barrier 5. So based on that information, you'd think the old Unriddle would beat Great, but again, who knows in this case. The other thing we can have a look at is the summary part 2, which gives you the last start sectional and a rating based on that sectional, and an overall rating based on the time of the race. So you can sort this based on this. Honor Vuitton is on top, the favourite, with the highest rating of 47, and it's got an overall rating of 42. So ideally, if you're going to be bidding on races, you would like to have where you got a high rating, a high last start sectional rating, and a high overall rating. If we want to sort for that one, it's got this time Prestige Ka Yin is on top, and so on. Now, the beauty of the rating calculator is that it gives you opportunities for you to make your own decisions. That's one of the real strengths of it. You can make your own, build your own systems, and so on. Moving over further, it's got the position at the 400. It's got the finishing position last start. It's got the pos change. So that's the change in position. So it's changed 2. So it went from wherever it was to wherever it finished, and there was 2 position changes. The barrier changed, so it's gone out 3 barriers. So it must have been in barrier 7 before. It's now gone out to barrier 10. So again, these numbers here give you some idea. So you could sort this in terms of how much change. So you get a horse that's gone up 5 positions, running on, so to speak, and it's got the same barrier. It ran that over 1200 metres. It's running over 1200 metres again, so is it going to be able to run home and win the race, and so on? And then we have Unriddle, whose barrier change has been -7 and it made up ground. That was over 1300. It's back to 1200. Is that going to allow it to be able to run well in the race? That's of course why there's horse racing, because there's lots of unknowns. You can of course have a look at the rating second last start, and you can do the same thing. Sometimes you'll find horses had a bad run at their last start, and the second last start may be useful. You could keep going back further and further back, but generally speaking, the last start and the second last start are probably the most relevant. So looking at that, we'd end up having Honor Vuitton on top, and on our market here, Honor Vuitton's on top. So in theory, that horse in theory is going to win. We can move on to race 3, race 4, race 5, race 6, race 7. We'll have a look at one of the later races. So race 7, it's a 2025 metre race. By the 25, the temperature will have reduced, and so the air will become thicker, and so the horses are going to run slower. And again, the same thing. This is a bit like now, instead of being 3 o'clock in the morning, it's probably more like 4 o'clock in the morning for the horses, but that's of course a management issue as far as horses running at night. But assuming the trainers are able to manage that, the horses should be able to run on their merits. So having a look at this one, if we have a look at the comparisons, this time we've got 10 horses, and so we can get more information about which horses run well and so on, just simply looking at the comparisons. Again, adjusting for the weight and the beaten margin. So Redwood Shadow here, we could then have a look at Redwood Shadow, see how he's gone. Unfortunately, he's only run in 1 race, or there's only 1 comparison, so we can't really get a lot of information connecting that horse with other horses. And 2 are the respective figures at the moment. Again, as far as night racing goes, it might get to the track, and by the time it gets to 750, number 3 might have a tummy ache or something, and it is unable to run well, and its price will blow right out and it just won't fire. and the same thing with 2, so we can only go on this. It's 453 minutes to the race, so that's quite a long time. A lot of races are going to run between then and now, so to sort of look at this and say that this $3.80 is going to be the price available at that time, who would know? But looking at the horse very quickly, Masterful's been running at Cranbourne the last couple of starts. Now the little asterisk there, that means there is a steward's report. So if you click on that, it'll then pop up. Looks a bit craggy there, so it lost its plate in the running. So you may think losing a plate is a significant feature, which it is, but whether it's going to affect it hugely. And the previous run before that, it was slow to begin, near the 900 when racing keenly improved, and on the heels of our Paramore and was checked. A little bit of a wayward horse, the old Masterful. It's got barrier 1 at 59 kilos, so you could say, well, it could run well, but it's far from its certainty to win the race. You go back a bit further, it did run second at Bendigo. We have a look at the other favourite, Bancory Bay. So this one's run 6th last out of 10, beaten 1.8 lengths from barrier 9 with 62, so it's got 62 again. Slightly better barrier again. It's got an asterisk there. It tells you there's a steward's comment. Slow to begin, so it's another one that's been slow. Generally you don't want to be betting on horses that are slow away, but you know they're not always going to be slow away. Near the 900 was eased from heels and so on, and raced wide from the 800 and bumped near the 100, so it didn't have a lot of luck in the run, that horse, but it may be just a horse that likes to get itself into trouble. Its last win was at Yarra Valley in a 61. This is a 64. It had 60 kilos. It's now got 62. It's got barrier 7. You would hardly rave about the chances of these two horses winning the race. So it's probably a pretty good race for the overs. Whether that works out, so the 50 to 1 shot, Gable. Last time he ran 5th of 5 at Cranbourne in a 3-year-old race, so he's 29 days off. He had got barrier 8. He's got earmuffs for the first time. If you see, there'll be any gear changes are highlighted in red. And again, he's also got a steward's thing. Underwent a pre-race veterinary examination, passed suitable to race. So he may have been in a bad mood that day. We don't know whether it was a night meeting or not. So he's beaten a long way. He's one of these horses that run in some of the top races back in the day, and it's hard to say whether he's going to run well or not. So anyway, there's a very brief look at the ratings calculator, and we'll see if any of those races were successful at Cranbourne later on.